proud of each and every one of these guys. I was looking at our student managers, how incredibly hard they've worked the entirety of the season, making sure these guys can go out and not worry about a thing. I just, top to bottom, the families, the kids, our student athletes, our athletic department. You know, again, everyone looks at a little adversity right out the chute, and we look at it like what a great opportunity this is, and that's been kind of the idea the entirety of the season. And you know, how about Eric bouncing back from Friday and handling his business and getting it done? Like that shows a lot of heart. And DeCremer taking the ball, even though he's out there and his calf is not acting right out there, he continues to rip the baseball through the zone, and that was exactly what we needed today. And our pitching staff just handled their business the entirety of the tournament, and they've been a rock for us all year. The growth of these young men, it's awesome to watch, and been praying on it a lot, and I know this was all part of the plan, meant to happen. There's still a lot of good times coming.
James, when did you find out you were going to start, and then just lead us through you know, your mindset and how you approach this opportunity?
I found out this morning, and I kind of just wanted to treat it like every other day. Went and got an acai bowl, did my meditation that Zach taught us, and went to the field a little bit early, stretched out. It was a good day.
So lead us through this calf situation. Did you battle a calf injury today, or just tightness?
I wouldn't say it's an injury. I think I overloaded on the electrolytes a little bit and cramped. That's all that happened. It's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
And as far as your stuff today, what was working well, and how did you feel? How would you evaluate your performance?
Earlier in the year, I'd say that I wasn't 100% confident in my fastball, and with a lot of work with Dorr and Gibb and Coach Canham, I feel supremely confident in all three of my pitches.
Yeah. Another quick one for James, but were you cramping like from the first inning? Was it the whole game, or when did that kind of start occurring?
Sorry, I started this.
It was the second inning.
Yeah. Mitch, just take me through the process with you and Dorr and how you came to the conclusion that James was the right guy to get the ball today.
You saw it. He's been showing that in his work all the time, and I don't think anyone was surprised what he went out and did today. And so it's, when you have all those guys down there, James, I remember watching him in high school. I went down and watched him at area codes. And he's warming up, he looks up, puts on a big smile, and he goes back down, dialing it in, and watching him, just electricity coming out of his arm. And each of those guys that threw tonight, hey, that's a lot. You saw some of the swings they were taking off of Eric, like shooting the ball off the side, like trying to jump heaters, because it really gets on you. And you know, for James right there, and just been chomping at the bit to do that. Eric's come out of the pen a handful of times throughout the first half of the season, so I thought that would be a good spot for James to have a solid routine before the game, and make sure he's ready for that, you know, that first hitter, and easier for Eric to come out of the pen. Not that either guy won't. I mean, they're going to pitch in any situation possible. Up and down the dugout, everyone's spiked up, ready to go. You know, even Santana told me, just let me know if you need an inning or two, or to catch or play outfield or do anything. So that was the identity of everybody in the dugout. And I don't think many of them have a voice left anymore. They were going at it pretty good.
Mitch, you've come back to the phrase, it was meant to happen this way a number of times, I think, after every post-game press conference.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what's put that in your head, and what do you keep coming back to about?
Just been praying on it a lot about why we're here, what we're doing, and why everything has happened. You start asking, you know, why are we in this situation that we're in? And I think it's just a blessing like anything else that happens in life. And if you're gonna make an incredible story, you can't just stop short at a few hiccups here and there. You gotta pile them all in there and really make something that people are gonna be inspired by and remember. I mean, even after the game, little kids running around watching this stuff, and people from across the country or around the world that are tuning into our game, you know, they're watching these guys and wanting to be like them. And you know, someday a kid's gonna step on campus and talk about I remember watching James DeCremer go out there and strike so-and-so out, and I remember Eric Segura throwing stuff that I want to throw nasty like him, and it's really cool to see. And even after that first game, you know, everyone was upset. And I knew what the character was of these guys, and they all knew it as well. They were gonna wake up the next day and go to work and not let it get to them. If anything, I thought that played in our advantage at that point. You come in, you're a top 8 seed, and everyone's expecting you have to win, you have to do this. And so we played tight day one. Our emotions were just tight. And then after that, well, bags packed. You really want to go home? Nope, we want to stay here. We're enjoying it too much. And we felt like the pressure was on everybody else. And so I just think that it's all part of the really cool story that's going to get written at the end of the year about what these guys have accomplished. And even if that book ended right now, those who were in that clubhouse and saw the things that had happened from when we went camping in the fall, you know, to waking up early in the morning, the guys having to come in and talk to me and reprimanded for a few things here and there. Not that it's either of these two guys, but you know, they took their licks and they kept getting back up, and that's where I just know I'm excited for the lives they're going to change from how they go about their business, and the men and the fathers that they're going to be when they leave here. And that's a really good feeling to have, you know, as a parent, when you see them as they're growing up, that they're going to be great, not just good, they're going to be great.
And Eric, how vindicating was that for you?
Well, I'm just glad I got the opportunity, first off, to come back and help the team win. You know, after that first day, it would have sucked to leave it that way, to be honest, but you know, seeing just how we played, backs against our wall, our backs against the wall, and just like having that fight, just like inspired me and like made me realize that, you know, we're playing for each other. And it's just like this brotherhood, we don't want it to end. So I just took that going into today and, you know, used that to help the team win.
I was gonna ask before him, but just your emotion after that first game, did you go to the coaches and say, I want another chance? You know, take us back to that day and how you got from there to here.
Yeah, it wasn't really like a conversation, but we had kind of just both knew that, like, they had told me, like, you're gonna come back Monday if we get there, and I was ready for it, and I wanted that, and you know, luckily we got there and it happened. So
Either James or maybe both James and Eric, just the offense that you guys have seen over the last 3 days. I see you smirking, James. I mean, I feel like almost I could throw with a 34 run edge. Probably not, but just the comfort that you guys get from that. What's it like throwing, knowing that you have that lineup on you?
Probably.
I'd say like the first week in Surprise, we started off super hot, and it felt like we were never gonna stop hitting. And then we kind of had some adversity, and now it's just switched on, and it's the most fun thing to be a part of. I am so inspired by all the guys that have kind of taken their lumps, and they're just taking good ABs, and they're hitting the ball really hard.
Yeah, well said.
The other part of it today, guys, was the defense. 5 double plays. The pitchers, can you guys talk about that?
yeah, I mean, the middle infield, just Arquette and Singer together, is honestly unbelievable. Probably the best in the country, if I had to say. You know, they make it look so easy. Even the ball's up the middle, you know, 6-hole, whatever it is. They just make it look so routine. And you know, as a pitcher, having that comfortability is like no other. I mean, you just know, you can get contact, and all 9 guys out there are gonna go out and do their best to get the outs.
Mitch, I feel like you have a unique perspective from your playing days and watching this program grow, having played against USC the last 3 years, seeing what Andy Stank was doing. Do you see similarities there of their growth in the last 3 years to maybe some of the things you guys were doing early to build this?
Andy does an incredible job. He did an incredible job at Grand Canyon. Anytime when he's coaching, he does a phenomenal job with all those around him. I got a ton of respect for him. I love towing the line across from him. I know his guys are always going to be well prepared. You know, and what they haven't had a home field really, this year or last. And you didn't see him skip a beat. Like those guys, and you've got a solid staff too. Those guys are all, when you're playing against USC that you're facing a very competitive team, and they got a ton of talent too. I mean, their guy who started game one for him comes out and takes the ball again. So they got a lot of heart in there. Getting all of our guys clicking at the right time is extremely important, and you're going to need that when you face other teams like that. But Andy, when he's running the program, like he's going to continue to find a ton of success and get the best out of guys.
James, this time last year, you were still, making your way back from back surgery, and thinking back then, did you think that a year later you'd be starting in a game like this? And just take me through just sort of what you're feeling after a game like that.
I'd say that when I was in it, like rehabbing and coming back, I was kind of worried I would never come back. But this year has helped a lot, and the guys around me have helped a lot in terms of confidence. Yeah.
And Mitch, just, all weekend, these last 4 games, that, any guy you put on the mound, it seemed like was, had that good stuff. Just with how deep this staff is, just how helpful is that? And just, it seems like anybody you put out there seems to be working.
Makes me look pretty smart, doesn't it? Again, it's a really good problem to have when you look down at your card and you're like, all right, what's the situation coming up over the next couple of innings? And you're starting to plan it out. You're like, oh, I really like this guy facing this part of the lineup, and I really like this guy facing this part of the lineup too. And you have multiple options to go to. And we didn't even see like Edwards throw as well, and that guy throws cannonballs and heavy sliders, and so I love the depth. I love the growth that they're making. Again, when was the last time we threw a shutout in the postseason? 2018. That was a good year, and these guys are capable of doing it. I said it before, my expectation is we're going to score 20 runs a game, and we're not going to give up a run. And we left a ton of guys stranded on this weekend from the pitching and defensive side. How about Singer, by the way? Like that guy, tell me he's not a Gold Glove and you're lying. It's been tremendous all year, just steady, always out there on the field, finding ways to get on base, move runners. I mean, we had him sack bunt a couple times the other day, and again, it keeps our guys in the dugout. When our offense is rolling, it keeps our pitching in the dugout and, recovering a lot better. And so they're able to go through their routine, make sure they're hydrating, stop sweating, calm the heart down, and go out and execute pitches. So right now, the confidence, the smiles that I saw in the guys, before the game started and after the game, they're just glowing. And I know right away, tomorrow we're gonna have off for the guys to relax a little bit, but I'm already excited for our next practice because I get to be around all of them again.
It's just been touched on a little bit, but 43 runs over 27 hours. I mean, that's unreal. Can you explain it all? What got into your guys' bats?
Confidence. After the first night, how we woke up the next day and we took that warrior mentality. It was laser focused. I think sometimes we got a little amped up and started expanding the zone from time to time, but you watch that inning where we laid down a handful of what I call it buntapalooza, and everyone's laying down a bunt, and Dallas is diving 30 feet into third base, and just big energy. Peterson's going home to second. Guys are pushing, dragging. Talt had a great sac fly today too. So just the focus in the moment. Even when Craig's home run right there, you go up there, get one to call a timeout, talk about the situation. What's he probably going to throw you right here? I want you to sit on a breaking ball, and I want you to hit it as hard as you can. And he did just that. Right, a guy who's going through a bit of a swing change lately and trying to widen out and keep it simple. He's so big and strong, he doesn't have to do a whole lot, and he's still growing in his skill set. He's going to be electric. He already is, but even more so. And to watch him and execute that plan and trust it was so fun to watch, because Tice has been in there and playing and going at it, and for Craig to get in there and get the start today and handle his business, trying to walk his first at bat, advancing on a ball in the dirt as well. Like, that's a big guy getting ready for a ball and dirt read. And sometimes you don't even see our little speedy guys doing that. And so it just was, I mean, Webb caught, you know, a doubleheader yesterday and came out and did it again today. And that shows a lot from those guys. TC getting hot too brings a lot of energy to the rest of the guys. That really extends our lineup. And he, you can obviously see it, he's an extremely special hitter. He's scary. No one, I don't think you're getting him out, Joe.
No. Not even
I can't help but thinking back to a few years ago and the position that you guys were in this season, and the fact that that probably doesn't happen if USC doesn't decide to leave the Pac-12. And you know, they're playing their ad out there and people are booing when they're talking about being in the Big Ten. Did that thought and like any sort of gratification run through your mind during this stretch?
No, I'm just focused on Oregon State, and I'm focused on our guys, and I'm focused on them becoming better in every way possible. The rest of the noise out there is just that, it's noise. There's nothing that I can do to control any of it. And so if we are independent, then so be it. We love it. You know, if whatever the situation is in front of us, it does zero to complain about it. We just make the best out of whatever it is. If you finish up a game and you got a delay until 2:30 in the morning and you're sitting in the airport, well, then we're gonna find a comfy concrete floor and rest up and get ready to go practice the next day when we get home. If that's what it takes, so be it.
Got time for 2 more?
Coach, Caraway homered in every game in the regional. Talk to me just about his performance, especially at the plate, and what you like from him, as well as you guys outscoring your opponents 50-6 in all elimination games.
Yeah, I mean, swinging a hot bat. He was so on time all weekend. He looked hitterish. He like his intent in the box, even how he would take a pitch and then get back in there. Like there was a look to it, and I thought every single one of our guys had that look when they were going up there. And if it drifted away, they brought it right back the next pitch. And TC was about as dialed as I've seen a guy. Watching him hit BP. Again, I get a lot out of that just with what the intent is. Gavin Turley's been really good about driving the ball middle of the field since we got here in the fall, and it's paying off. And TC is driving the baseball on a line up the middle. There's no more of the like show off home run derby BP or anything like that, because we know what we're going up against. We know guys like to spin breaking balls and throw change-ups to us, and how to hit those is be balanced on time and drive the middle of the field. And if a guy makes a mistake and leaves it up in the zone, then we can get the head out a little bit and do some real damage. But I really liked where he was at with his timing. I loved where he was at with his focus. And it's no different than what the pitchers are doing in their catch play and their bullpen sessions. You know, they're focusing on throwing the ball down the zone. And we have like great catchers to work with, great personalities that are there to encourage them. So I'm thrilled where we're at, and we're gonna keep climbing right now. It's not sit back and relax. And I really thought that week off of us getting some scrimmages in was something really solid for us too. How the guys handled that. You know, obviously it's easy to question after game 1 of this series, but again, we're not gonna let that affect us.
Sure, let's try the last one.
Mitch, I know you mentioned yesterday that Tice is a little dinged up. Is that still just a day-to-day sort of deal? And how hard was it to kind of keep his name off the lineup prior to the weekend?
He's been incredible. There's no doubt we can all see what he's doing with the bat and the glove and everything, but socially and emotionally what he does for all the guys when he's out there. You always see him talking like, hey, you're getting over, you're doing a great job, keep it going. And he's got big energy when he's out there, and he's like a coach on the field. And we're gonna take it day by day to see how he's doing, but you know, definitely difficult not to have him in there. And I know, you know, it's something he wants to be in there, and he goes, I'm gonna, like, if there's ever a situation or whatever I can do, I'm gonna find a way to get in the game and help out. And if it means being in the dugout today, then I'm gonna join Santana and Vasquez and the rest of the guys, and we're gonna go crazy and keep the energy rolling. There's definitely a unique environment in there, a lot of water getting thrown around and pictures getting taken and haircuts and stuff. It's great.
Who got the haircuts today?
Try to keep my eyes on the field.